The Cincinnati Bengals are the most talented, frustrating team I have ever set my eyes on because that offense is amazing. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow. You can even throw Chase Brown in there now because he really took off the back half of the season. They have so much talent, which makes it so frustrating how they are ran. And you look at everything around the Bengals organization, Burrow is going to carry them. Jamar Chase is going to carry them. T. Higgins is going to carry them. But everywhere else you have questions about. So for this team preview, I'm really not going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about the offseason because nothing really happened. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the offense because it's the same old strength. But a lot of focus is going to be put on the mismanagement of this Bengals defense. Now, talk about the offseason as a whole, and I'm just going to lump the draft and offseason period just together overall, because nothing really happened in the offseason besides they re-signed Jamar Chase and they re-signed T. Higgins. Great on paper. Those are two extremely talented receivers. I'd say two top 10 receivers in the NFL. But they are paying so much money to those two guys that it's completely messed up their entire roster structure. And Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they can take over a game without a doubt. Them with Joe Burrow is some of the most fun football you can watch. But they are paying their top two receivers over $45 million per year. And that's not even until we get to the big contract years. That's just for the 2025 season. We look at 2026, they're over $50 million, and it's going to keep on rising. I love them as players. They complement each other so great. But the smart move was to move off T. Higgins. They had the opportunity to trade him for good draft capital. You don't think the Patriots want to give up a lot of draft capital to get T. Higgins? With how desperate they are for a receiver, they overpaid an older Stephon Diggs. The Bengals had an opportunity to really do something, but they didn't. And which is shocking that they actually paid a guy to not leave. That's what really flabbergasted me, is that the Bengals broke their habits to do a move that's probably not going to help them in the long run. Now, it was to please Joe Burrow. I get that. You want a happy quarterback. But you know what really pleased Joe Burrow? Winning. Going to the playoffs. And this move doesn't really help them with that because the same issues they've had, that there's no money for the defense. And we are going to talk about Trey Hendrickson now because all this money paid to Chase and Higgins, they're not going to pay Trey Hendrickson how much he wants. And without Trey Hendrickson on the field, they ranked last in pressure rate. They ranked last in everything defensively with Trey Hendrickson off the field. On the field, they at least could get pressure on the quarterback. But now you've alienated him to the point he may not play for you ever again. He wants to be traded. They're yet to get a contract done. And even if he does play for you this year, he's gone entering free agency. This offseason has been a complete mess by the Bengals, and it's so frustrating because it should not be this difficult with Joe effing Burrow. Joe Burrow does not need two stud receivers. It's nice, don't get me wrong, but you just have him have Jamar Chase. They'd be perfectly fine. You bring in T. Higgins, great, but now you're paying them too much to the point it messes up roster construction. Now, let's focus on the draft. In the draft, it's going to be me more complaining about the Bengals because the issue I really saw with this draft class is that they don't have enough scouts to really do in-depth research. Because when I looked at it, I realized very quickly they only drafted power conference players, which can be fine. I hear the argument, they played the best competition. That's where you want to draft from. I get that. But they don't have the ability to find the diamonds in the rough because they don't pay scouts. They don't have enough scouts to go and do it. They don't have the ability to do that because ownership won't let them. And you look at this draft, it's really the same thought for me. Well, there's something there. He may work, he may not. I lean more towards the may not. I'm really low in this draft class as a whole. Knight, I didn't care for. Fairchild, I think, has some ability, but I don't know how great he's going to be. Carter from Clemson, I was very low on. Taj Brooks may be my favorite pick of theirs, and he was a 6th-round pick, and he's a running back that's probably not going to get much playing time with Chase Brown there. And now we look at the 1st-round pick, Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart. You draft him in the 1st round, and there's a possibility he never even plays for you because he's already alienated with the Bengals ownership group. And listen, I get it. A lot of teams don't guarantee injuries in the rookie contracts. I fully understand that. And if you're a Bengals fan, you're upset about that, fine, by all means. Other teams can do it. Why can't we? Well, your front office, and mainly, not even your front office, your ownership does not get the benefit of the doubt. As Bud Elliott reported this week, and I am so glad I waited on doing this Bengals episode, because Bud Elliott dropped a bombshell that Shamar Stewart is around the Texas A&M program. He's looking to possibly go back to A&M and play college football this year. Now, we look at that as a whole. Be very interesting to see how this goes. It would probably require a lot of lawyers, do not get me wrong. But if he were to be able to go back to college football, that screws a lot of teams over. And we'd probably see rookie contracts be worked differently for the future. But how does that affect the Bengals if they all of a sudden just don't want to guaranteed contracts like we are seeing right now? Players are going to go back in the draft. They're going to go back to college football, and they won't play for you. And I know this is going to sound a lot of me complaining because the on-the-field product is fine on the offense side. But when you refuse to invest in your defense, your football team will underachieve with a franchise quarterback, Joe Burrow, one of the 4 best quarterbacks in the NFL, I'd say 3 best personally, and on some days, the very best. This all comes back to ownership. You draft poorly because you don't have the scouts to go draft. You don't get your rookies signed apparently anymore because you're unwilling to pay full guarantees because your history has shown you will take the cheap way every single time. And now we see it starting to trickle down. In an NFL world in where teams pay more and more salary every single year, where they guarantee more and more money, the Bengals need to change. The best way to do that would be sign Trey Hendrickson, get Shamar Stewart's contract done, get all these done, signal a change. But I don't know if any of that's going to happen, and it frustrates me. Mind you, I am an AFC North fan. I'm a Steelers fan. I should not be this frustrated with the Bengals. I should be laughing and pointing at you, giggling my pants off. But I'm not, because I see a quarterback as talented as Joe Burrow getting wasted. And as a football fan, it irritates the hell out of me. Now that I got done my little rant, it's time to talk about the strength. And the strength is the offense. It's Joe Burrow. It's Jamar Chase. It's T. Higgins. It's that entire offense as a whole. Chase Brown really came on as the season went along. They started utilizing him more and more. And as a Chase Brown stan, I was very happy to see it. I've been a Chase Brown guy since his draft class. I really thought he would burst on the scene. I thought he would have overtaken Joe Mixon as the lead back his rookie year. That's how highly I thought of him. But it took a year, and I was proven right because Chase Brown's a monster. Jamar Chase is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He is top 5 at worst, most likely in the top 2 range, just behind one of the best wide receivers I've ever witnessed. T. Higgins is a top 10 wide receiver. It's all good on the offense receiving core, the weapons category. It's very good for the Bengals. Now their weakness. Now listen, I'm going to reiterate this because it's so bad. Their defense is a dumpster on fire. They cannot get pressure without Trey Hendrickson. Their secondary is not good. Their pass rushers outside of Trey Hendrickson is not good. And even if you do get Shamar Stewart under contract, what's the one thing that dude did not do in college? Get good quality pressure. He was a pass rusher that didn't rush the passer. I do not get how the Bengals are handling this defense. It is bad. It is pathetic. And again, it's frustrating because you have Joe Burrow. It should not be this difficult. So if you're asking me, where do I have the Bengals finish in the division? With everything I said and how angry this team makes me, I think they're second in the division, guaranteed. I would pretty much bet money on them finishing second. I know they're better for the Browns. The Browns they're not tanking, but they're doing pseudo NFL tanking, as in, hey, if we overperform, great, but we're not going to be too sad if we lose a bunch of games. The Steelers, they maybe had the offseason that frustrated me more than the Bengals, which is shocking, honestly, but they really did a lot of stupid things. I don't think they improved their team at all. I think it's a worse version. And the Bengals were 9-8 last year. They have talent. They have Joe Burrow. They have Chase. They have Higgins. They can score on anyone. The concern is, can they stop anyone? I don't think so. And the reason why I don't have them first is because of that defense. If they had a good defense, I'd have no problem putting this team first place. I am that high on the Bengals offense. I am that high on Joe Burrow. But with that defense, they're stuck in second place and probably a wild card exit because that defense will not be able to stop one of the other great quarterbacks in the NFL. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd share this, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm doing 32 teams in 32 days, just covering every NFL team, do a preview for it all. I will be covering the Browns tomorrow. If Bengals fans want to come back and listen to that, listen to me talk about the Browns, by all means, come back, view it. If you want to hear me rant about my own team, Bengals fans, the Steelers will be coming eventually. Or if you're just a fan of another team and you just want to keep consuming this, I'd appreciate if you come back. Every day there will be a brand new upload, same time, 6 a.m. my time, Mountain Daylight Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.